Obviously, a lot was made of this matchup between yourself and Diana Taurasi. I know she's one of your idols. How big is it for you to get a win here against her today?
I'm just happy we won. It was cool to play against her, and obviously a really great game. And like you said, this crowd was absolutely incredible.
You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, you know, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
The Indiana Fever made their eagerly awaited return on Friday, with Caitlin Clark taking on Diana Taurasi. Phoenix Mercury and Brittany Griner, there is undoubtedly a fierce rivalry brewing since Taurasi publicly criticized Clark's joining the league, implying that reality would soon hit her hard. But Caitlin did just that. She into Phoenix Taurasi's own turf and gave her a quick reality check. When Caitlin boldly announced her entry into the league, she attracted 7,000 more people than the typical attendance at Taz games.
Compares Clark to Steph Curry for being relatable to fans, but claims the fact that she's a straight white woman plays a big role in the hype around her. It's not the numbers that she puts on the scoreboard. Privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so part of it is about race.
Here's the reality. Tommy's right. It's not just race, though. It's also sexuality. Caitlin Clark is a white heterosexual woman in a black league, and they resent and are jealous of all of the attention and the shoe deal that she got.
Not to add that both Taurasi and Griffin are regarded as superstars, Caitlin was unfairly passed over by the selection committee when the Olympics came around. I've been criticizing them recently for their partiality. They're just a bunch of jealous people. 2 days after the Fever's victory, it appears that the Mercury are still making fun of Caitlin Clark in relation to the Olympics. What's the deal? Coaches like Dawn Staley and Jen Rosati appeared keen to keep Caitlin off the roster, presumably due to a few envious WNBA players who had previously spoken negatively about her. We just saw one of Diana Taurasi's most embarrassing performances ever. It was completely absurd to put her on this team rather than Caitlin Clark. She won this dubious 6th gold medal without even taking the court for the decisive game.
It's always great, you know, every year is a different journey, and I think that's the best thing about being in a team sport, that it's always different, new faces, the goal's always the same.
Imagine Caitlin Clark, who was informed that Diana Taurasi had not made the cut, sitting on the sidelines at every Olympic game.
Caitlin Clark wants to be on the team, but who cares? She knows that in all likelihood she didn't deserve it. She's a rookie. Team USA and the WNBA and all of these folks shouldn't be thinking about marketing, and it's about what's going to be unfair to the other ladies, blah, 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 blah. Go after Caitlin Clark. Beat her down as much as you possibly can.
This leads us to the ongoing rivalry between Caitlin Clark and 3-time WNBA champion Diana Taurasi, which doesn't seem to be abating anytime soon. Caitlin Clark, with her fierce competitive spirit, had to be chuckling at the entire situation. The Phoenix Mercury's social media crew got involved this past weekend after a video appeared on their official TikTok account that appeared to make fun of Clark. Here is the video.
I miss the WNBA. Caitlin, where are you? Who's Caitlin? I'm here for Taurasi.
A Caitlin Clark admirer, the Phoenix Mercury's social media team cleverly included a young fan holding a sign that read, "Who's Caitlin?" while declaring, "I'm here for Taurasi," in response to a fan who recently expressed her desire for WNBA action by asking Caitlin, "Where are you?" This comes right after the Olympic snub, where Taz's performance was noticeably disappointing. Let's be honest, she essentially took a gold medal that should have belonged to Caitlin Clark. In a recent WNBA playoff game, Caitlin Clark was given an eye poke by Joni Carrington, which caused a lot of discussion. Rakuna Williams also has a point when she says that she chose not to be selected for political reasons. This brings to mind an incident that altered my life in 2016 when I was traveling to a reunion with friends when a distracted driver ran a red light and struck me. My car was totaled, and I ultimately required multiple knee surgeries. I'm happy to introduce our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, who are the largest personal injury law firm in the nation and can fight for the best outcome for your case if you become their client. Whether it's a minor accident or something more serious, they make sure the insurance company doesn't shortchange you. The best part is that you don't pay them UPF front if they don't when you don't pay. If you ever find yourself in an accident, remember your options. If you feel overlooked despite averaging 22 points per game, She was passed over for Chelsea Gray, and Taurasi didn't even deserve a spot on the team. It should have been Rakuna and Caitlin representing us. It's really ludicrous that some people claim Caitlin wouldn't have performed any better than Taurasi. With an astounding 8.2 assists per game, Caitlin is leading the league.
She doesn't get tired.
You see the way I run? I just
She does not
sprint
get
all the
tired.
time.
All the time.
Sprint. I sprint everywhere. I sprint in my apartment. I sprint. I sprint. I love sprinting.
In contrast, Taurasi only managed to score 3 points over the course of 4 games, averaging 6 points, 1 rebound, and 0.6 assists, while shooting 16%. The Phoenix Mercury's decision to make fun of Caitlin Clark and her fans is absurd.
Do you want to be partners?
Yes.
Okay. What song do you want to perform?
High School Musical soundtrack.
Yeah, High School Musical. That's what we're going with. Or some JB.
Am I wrong? I understand now that the Fever have already defeated the Mercury twice this season, so let's get started. Taurasi was unable to participate in one of those games due to an injury to her foot that affected her toe.
You got a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out, just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant.
Since she is getting older, they really ought to have provided her with a walker to help her get out there. Additionally, when Brittany Griner suffered an injury during the game, Kelsey Mitchell continued to play even though they lost, and the social media team was all over it. Oh, and let's not forget how the Phoenix Mercury marketed the Rookie vs. GOAT plotline prior to the start of the season. I say that following that initial defeat, Caitlin Clark's supporters truly turned out for Diana Taurasi.
Love watching her score and just everything about her. I got an Iowa t-shirt for Caitlin Clark. We couldn't find a Caitlin Clark one.
Who are you here to see tonight?
Caitlin Clark!
Whoa, you came from Canada to see.
Saskatchewan, Canada.
That's a long walk.
We drove 23 hours.
Whoa, hold on a second. To see, I'm going to guess. Let me guess.
Caitlin Clark.
They really went hard. It was a true wake-up call for Taurasi when Caitlin took off during that game, particularly in the fourth quarter. This league is something else. There is a lot of jealousy and pettiness, even from the social media teams of other franchises. Let's face it, Caitlin just landed you all a $260 million media deal, and that's all she does. Meanwhile, I've seen the Mercury's viewership numbers, and they're pretty low, maybe 500,000 at best. It appears the Phoenix Mercury took some serious shots at Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and there's a chance Diana Taurasi may be suspended. The Indiana Fever is scheduled to begin the second half of the 2024 season later today, and it was already looking like an exciting night in Indiana as they faced off against Diana Taurasi and the Dinosaurs. To be honest, there was some tension brewing because the Phoenix Mercury had sent some serious shade before the game even began. The method of Caitlin Clark before Friday's rematch. The Mercury's social media crew reportedly made fun of Clark as they prepared to start the second half of the WNBA season against the Fever. After that, we witnessed a compilation of T's greatest moments. The caption read, "We'll take our 6-time gold medalist any day of the week. Thank you." I just watched this video, and it was obviously a jab at Caitlin Clark. It was ridiculous, and we all know that when it comes down to it, Caitlin Clark is far better than Diana Taurasi right now. I'm not saying that her entire career will surpass her, but as it stands, Caitlin Clark's performance speaks for itself. It was also absurd that their media team would incite drama without any justification. Although Caitlin has always praised Diana and the Phoenix Mercury, these WNBA teams continue to make fun of her, most likely out of jealousy for the attention she was receiving.
Caitlin Clark's hardest transition going into the WNBA league.
All right. I mean, look, the game.
I think defense.
Yeah, the game is just, when you talk about how physical the game is, it's just a whole different level. You're talking about the 120 best players in the world, hopefully in peak condition, and that just makes the game harder in itself.
You said 120.
How many are there? 10 times 12 is 120.
The entire thing was spiraling out of control, and it is incomprehensible that anyone would condone this behavior. Changing gears after receiving her 5th technical fall during Friday's game against the Chicago Sky, Diana Taurasi found herself in a difficult situation as she could potentially be suspended by the WNBA. An altercation on the court resulted in double technical fouls for Michelle and Sophie Cunningham, and Diana Taurasi also received a technical foul during that incident. According to league regulations, a player who receives 7 technical fouls in a season is suspended for 1 game. To make matters worse for the Dinosaurs, who currently lead the WNBA in technical fouls, Taurasi was only 2 technicals away from that level, which was undoubtedly not a good look. I'll be watching Taurasi tonight, and given their obvious problems, I anticipate that things will get heated.
Caitlin.
It was definitely what happened last year between Caitlin Clark and, Andrew Reese. It was, talked about and would have liked to seen that rematch in time. But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. A lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in. Not only do they go in consistently. And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player, one that makes the players around her better. Not only was she making a great shot, she was making great passes.
In other news, this Tuesday is the WNBA trade deadline. Lynn Dunn has made it clear that she has no intention of making any significant moves. Although there has been no indication on which teams might be interested in the All-Star, Kelsey Mitchell told reporters that she is now pondering free agency. I'll keep you informed as more details become available.
They resent and are jealous of all of the attention and the shoe deal that she got.
Over Times Square, take a look. This Nike billboard honors the all-time NCAA Division I scoring leader. It features the caption, "This was never a long shot."
Caitlin recently received her first signature shoe from Kobe. If you like it, please click the subscribe button. Let's see how Caitlin's kicks look and hear her opinions.